Empyre Issue 2 sees a ship leave warp in the orbit of Jupiter. Its pilot asks by its computer if it needs to continue broadcasting on emergency beacons. The pilot says yes, since the Avengers need to know what is happening before it is too late. In the blue area of the moon, the transformed Sequoia says for the Avengers it's too late, and for their part in this, they are offered their lives and they can live there on the moon under imprisonment, knowing that the vengeance they strived for has been taken. Thor demands to know what lunacy has overtaken Sequoia's mind since they fought together and he was one of them. The villain realizes that he was in a way, since he was the first Avengers baby and was raised by the Avengers in their image, thanks to Mantis and his uncle Thor, and then by his father the swordsman, who taught him all about the history of their race, and how the Kotari had been betrayed first by the Skrulls and then by the Kree, who slaughtered them all. He knows injustices need to be avenged, but they couldn't stop there. Thanks to Swordsman being a human template, he knew the depths such animals could sink to, therefore it all had to be purged and the sins redeemed in death. Sequoia says that this is all for the Avengers, saying that they did this as Swordsman tries to kill Jennifer, slashing the Hulk across the arm, telling her and the other Avengers that they will be given one chance to stand aside and let justice be done. Swordsman escapes from them through a portal as Jen apologizes to Captain Marvel for not being able to stop him, but Carol says that they were all taken by surprise and is only concerned with the rest of the team, who meanwhile are arranged like flowers on a tree by Sequoia. Iron Man awakens knowing that Carol was right in what she said, telling the others about the Skrull the Avengers chased down who had a message, which he didn't get to hear, but guessed it was to do with the Kree-Skrull alliance. Thanks to the Skrull being murdered by a tree, Tony didn't put it together that it was Sequoia who did it, being that he was an Avengers baby, not some evil twisted villain. Sequoia shuts up Iron Man by piercing his armor with his vines, but stops, saying that he's trying to be nice. But he did kill Raxor, and he wasn't the first, revealing they did experiments with the plans in the Crowl system, killing off worlds where the Skrulls were pretending to be ancient Greek-era humans. He says they created a powerful amplifier for the seed of death to blossom, but it wasn't powerful enough, and the Skrulls retaliated by destroying the entire system. Luckily by then the Kotati had moved on, and they took their experiments to the Kree, discovering with the right soil they could greatly improve the powers of their mages, which they could then use to destroy whole fleets with. At this point the Kree and Skrulls both knew about the Kotati's intent, so their mission became a game of espionage, trying to prevent the alliance from forming by killing the Kree and Skrull spies. However, they were too slow and the alliance was formed under Hulkling, so Sequoia recruited the Avengers to help via beaming a message into Tony's brain, causing the Avengers to come and help them finally achieve victory. Sequoia says that the world can now either be their reward or their graveyard, as he soon hears a whistling. Thor says that that's the sound his hand makes when it's open, as Mjolnir flies to the god's hand, striking the tree with its lightning and freeing Captain America and Iron Man along with the god. Sequoia faces the heroes, telling them to savor this small victory since it's the final bit of mercy they will receive from him. He escapes through the portal, which Cap thinks is very similar to the ones the X-Men are now using. He tells Iron Man to sweep the garden with his senses, but Tony finds nothing, distraught that he let them all go. Thor notes that the plants are growing back, and even burning them with his lightning doesn't seem to work. Steve is more concerned with what Sequoia's next move will be as T'Challa contacts him, knowing Sequoia delivered them a message like the one he got from Swordsman, and he knows exactly what those plans were, as the Kotati have arrived on Earth, beginning to take it over. Cap knows they need to get down into the front lines, so Thor summons a Bifrost to get them to Earth as quickly as possible, as the Ghost Rider Quinjet speeds towards the planet with the Hulk and T'Challa on board, looking to regroup with Cap and the others, while Carol heads to the Kree-Skrull Alliance fleet. Carol makes it to the decimated ships, meeting with Captain Glory and the Super Skrull, who say that this is all the Avengers doing. Carol says that they were tricked by those who they trusted and it won't happen again, and she doesn't want to hear from them since Glory and Super Skrull can't act like they have spotless records. Glory says that he will do whatever is necessary as the Imperium knows the value of the service he provides, and the Super Skrull says that he will do whatever is necessary as well, as they all head to the overgrown command ship. On board, the Kree and Skrulls battle the plans as the Fantastic Four lend a hand. Reed Richards, thanks to his elastic powers, managed to survive the initial attack, but knows the Kotati seeds have burrowed deep into Ben's rock skin and are eating him alive from the inside out. Hulkling rushes to his friend's aid, smashing the thing with his magic sword and freeing him of the plants. Reed wonders how that sword works, but Hulkling says that it's just just your standard magical sword, one the hand of the king will get. Reed knows that it also disrupts Kotati influence, wanting to redistribute that power elsewhere. Captain Marvel soon arrives and says that she can do just that. Later, the Super Skrull and Human Torch defend the group as Hulkling stabs the sword into Captain Marvel, who absorbs the sword's energy, building it up before the pain becomes too unbearable and it explodes from her, killing Captain Marvel. Later, Carol is suddenly brought back to life, finding her plan did indeed work and the released energy freed the ship from the plants. Carol asks if she did die and Reed says that she very nearly did, but luckily he was able to tune Tanalath's hammer and turn it into a defibrillator. Tanalath says that it's not her hammer though, since the weapon used to belong to Ronan the Accuser, and she can't make it sing like how he did, but perhaps another person can. She tells Carol that she has risen through the military ranks on Earth, but she is a being of two worlds, so as acting commander of the Kree, she promotes Carol Danvers to a place in the Kree Accuser Corps. Carol accepts, taking the hammer and changing her costume to the Kree Accuser green. She is told to bring glory to Hela and to Earth, should it survive the pyre. Hulkling wonders what that means, so Kl'rt tells him that the pyre is the death of a world at the prince's hands, with that planet being Earth. Empyre issue 2 was a fantastic second installment to Marvel's mega event that actually contained a lot of backstory, especially on how the Kotari conducted their experiments and kind of worked in the shadows behind certain events going on within the Marvel Universe recently, which for an event this size with as many tie-ins as it had is kind of uncommon to hear, since usually that sort of stuff is relegated to tie-ins. But I like that it was given this information in a main book, since it is probably very pertinent information that people need to know, and I like seeing just how evil and what lengths the Kotari were willing to go to enact their plan, as well as that you kind of understand why they are doing it, and it's for revenge and all the evil doings that the Kree and Skrulls did to them. So it's very, very well set up, especially with Sequoia's motivations with just wanting revenge. Captain Marvel's new status quo change was lots of fun, and really it's about time she got a Kree promotion. I think giving her a promotion to an Accuser is really cool, and I'm intrigued to see what will happen now that she has Ronan's weapon. And where is exactly Ronan? I know he was in that Royal series and tied in with the Inhumans, so I imagine he might make an appearance somewhere, even though he's technically dead. With everything virtually set up now, I'm looking forward to getting into all of the tie-ins and discovering more about the eluded pyre that was hinted at the end of this issue and what exactly that means for Earth. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10.